There's one of those old-fashioned Mercedes that run on gasoline. Driving the EQS today, all electric, deep machine. It's very cool. This logo has been the symbol of quality and luxury for over 100 years. So if Mercedes puts this many stars up front, chances are the folks in Stuttgart are proud of the effort. The EQS 580 is the first dedicated electric vehicle from the brand, designed from the ground up to be an EV. Think of it as a fully electric S-Class, and we all know how sumptuous those are. A guilty pleasure? Sure is. The one built using carbon-neutral manufacturing. This is a Mercedes-Benz. It's not going to be priced like a Chevy Bolt. As tested, well-equipped, before any federal or state tax credits, this one retails for about $126,000. Now, that's a lot of money, but the EQS is so deep, it's kind of a bargain. Let's start with this crowd pleaser. Dubbed the Hyperscreen, Mercedes calls it a 56-incher, but clever folks will see that it's 3 screens under one piece of glass. People entering this space practically gasp. You'd half expect to see Jean-Luc Picard behind the wheel. And then there's the ambient lighting that looks great anytime. At night, it dials the wow factor up to 11. It's everywhere, and I do mean everywhere. Must add $10,000 to the price and worth every penny. And yes, the color can be changed. Go out for dinner and the show is always free. This badge means the EQS 580 is a dual-motor EV with all wheels driven. Like nearly all EVs, it's a skateboard platform. This one has a 400-volt architecture. It will underpin future Mercedes electrics like the upcoming EQS SUV and EQE. The lithium-ion pack with low cobalt cathodes delivers 108 kilowatt-hours of energy. Total power from the two motors is 516 horsepower and 631 pound-feet of torque. This is moving 5,888 pounds. Electrics make no sound on startup. That's all up to the musicians these days. And say goodbye to analog gauges, too. There's no geared transmission. This is just a selector. The paddles are for selecting the amount of regen drag. There are 3 levels. What's under here? Well, certainly not a frunk. The hood on the EQS is sealed. Only the service center opens it. Oh, and this slot is to fill the wiper fluid. Maybe tell the help so they know how to do that. Of course, there are drive modes that adjust throttle response and ride quality. EQS has an air suspension with adaptive dampers. The dual-motor EQS does the 0 to 60 dash in about 4 seconds. Pretty darn quick, but beyond numbers, EVs have that deep, rich torque, so it's incredibly satisfying off the line. There's an acceleration tone that seeps into the cabin, nothing overbearing, very classy, very Mercedes. My microphones just don't pick it up very well. The structure that encases and protects the battery in case of collision is ultra strong and gives the EQS a Voelk-like quality, silent as one too. EVs by their very nature are extremely quiet. The EQS takes it to a completely different level. And bumps are pretty much heard but not felt, and heard very faintly. This has the optional acoustical glass, which is kind of a must-have, I'd think. Steering is responsive and precise, but not loads of feel coming through the wheel. The 580 has 10-degree rear-wheel steering, and the turning radius is otherworldly for a large luxury sedan, just under 36 feet. You'll do it just for fun. I know I did. The ride quality of the EQS is so smooth, it's hard to describe. I will go with cliches: buttery, creamy, velvety, and on top of that, put a layer of Teflon. And yet, it's never sloppy. It's really pretty controlled. It's like driving a controlled cloud. You probably want to know about the range. Did I get the EPA-rated 340 miles out of a charge?
Not quite, 315. But consider the temperatures were in the mid-40s, I did some significant highway miles, some in the rain, and I left the car on for hours while shooting static shots.
Range just isn't an issue with the EQS. It's just not.
And Edmunds tested a rear-drive EQS 450 Plus rated at 350 miles and saw 420 in ideal temperatures. So there's that.
As far as brake pedal feel, the transition from regenerative to the actual physical disc brakes is absolutely seamless. Put in full recuperation and you got one pedal driving. And if you remove it, all recuperation, this thing will coast forever. It's like your best Hot Wheel. I am not touching the throttle, and this thing just keeps going. And going.
Put it into auto mode, and computers decide if coasting or recuperation is most efficient. There's all sorts of information to show drivers the power flow. The graphics are clear and bright in the gauge cluster. The Hyperscreen as a whole?
All this, it's a crowd pleaser. People love to look at it. It's terrific. I will say, though, on sunny days, not that Seattleites get a lot of those, there is some reflection on the screen. From your point of view, it's probably worse than mine. This is oriented for the driver.
Augmented reality navigation prompts that I didn't shoot, sorry. Make sure that you don't miss a turn. These are very helpful. This is an excellent cruiser.
EQS is available with level 3 semi-autonomous driving tech, just not in the United States, at least not for now. The system that Mercedes offers is really quite good. It stays straight and true in the lane, doesn't bob around like a drunken sailor, and takes gentle curves without any issues whatsoever. Very confident, follows the car ahead, no sweats. I like this. I'm using it while I'm talking to you, so I really trust it.
The ambient lighting has other tricks, signal to change lanes, and if there's someone in your blind spot, it'll get your attention. Your eye won't see the sensors blinking the way that the camera does. It's facial recognition for the MBUX interface and detects microsleep episodes to tell the driver to maybe hit up a Starbucks. Even with all that range, you'll need to charge up. It's important to know your needs. Tesla is known to have the best charge experience, but owners that don't road trip a lot won't need travel infrastructure often. The infrastructure isn't perfect, but it's growing. At Electrify America stations, EQS supports plug-in charge, much like the Tesla experience.
Talk about luxury. It's nice not having to fumble with an app. Sometimes these stations can be a little wonky.
Some 85% of all EV charging is done at home, and personally, I feel if you can't charge where you sleep, EVs lose their appeal. And the cost of charging at this terminal is easily 4 times the rate that I'd pay at home, but still less than gasoline.
The Mercedes doesn't juice up quite as fast as Porsche Taycan or Audi e-tron GT, but it's no slouch. Its top rate is 200 kilowatts, so using the right stations under ideal conditions, you can add some 170 miles in about 15 minutes.
If you want to limit the charge level to, say, 90% to protect the pack, it's easy to do. The rate is faster when the pack is nearly spent and temperatures are warm. While you're waiting, maybe play some video games. I'll assume successful people driving this will be catching up on email and managing investments. Or just look at the clouds and daydream. We don't do enough of that. Let's touch on design. Mercedes calls the approach sensual purity, or as my neighbor put it, looks like a river rock. I heard bar of soap too. These lines are as close as the EQS gets to having any distinct sharp creases. To me, it looks like something Audi would do. The long-nosed silhouette is one of the slipperiest the wind has ever seen. The coefficient of drag is 0.20. That helps with range. I appreciate the effort and skills it takes to manufacture such a clean-looking body, but the public in general seems underwhelmed by the visual. Personally, I feel paint color is critical. Kind of feel this nautical blue gives it a plain presentation. A graphite gray one that I saw had a much richer look. Back to the Starship Enterprise. More than just the giant display array, there are some good-looking, eco-friendly materials. There's synthetic leather on the dash and doors, plus carpet woven from recycled yarns. The walnut with aluminum inlay is called yacht design. Any questions why? The leather seats seem infinitely adjustable. Heated and vented, they offer up a decent massage, the hardest working chairs in the biz. And like many Mercedes, these have a lovely dampened quality. Pockets are lined so things don't rattle. That said, I like door releases with a hefty feel. These are fine. And there are hard plastics in places touched often. The whole assembly of these haptic controls moves, not a premium feel. The floor is flat, but the console keeps it from being super airy. The Burmester 3D audio system is quite good. The only thing that impresses people more than the dashboard are these headrests. They are so downy soft, Merriam-Webster needs to coin a new word for them. This car is equipped with an optional dash cam, good for keeping an eye on traffic and thieves. The surround view system is fun to play with and comprehensive. If you hit anything, that's on you. A wireless keypad is here, a bit deep in the console, but since wireless Apple CarPlay is an energy vampire, good to have your iPhone on charge all the time.
The MBUX user interface has one of the best natural voice command systems I've ever experienced in a car, right up there with a smartphone. You use the phrase, "Hey Mercedes, I need directions to a vehicle charge station."
Please select from the following locations. Where do you want to go?
Okay, that's awkward.
The cluster can be configured in a number of different ways. On the surface level, EQS is easy to drive off the showroom floor, and with a little nosing around, most features can be found. I can see where it would take weeks, even months, to master the depth of the system. It's like Microsoft Office. Most of us use, 10% of its power at best?
Wow. Have you told people about the headrests? I have. They're super soft. Easily amused. All right, let's talk about the back seat. We're both 5'9", right? Headroom, very generous. Knee, leg, and foot room, also generous. What you would expect from an S-Class. These cushions are especially comfortable. They just coddle me. And the door openings, big enough to get car seats in and out. Also, large executives. Fat cats even. Pockets are lined so stuff doesn't rattle around. Kind of surprised there aren't built-in sunshades back here. Also surprising, no separate climate zone back here. That's an option this one doesn't get. At least I can charge my phone. And at 126 grand as tested, no heated seats. Neither kids or executives will fight over seat pockets. The floor, not completely flat. There's this small structural area here, but still it leaves plenty of foot room for 3 average-sized adults, and the cushions have room for 3 adults as well. This really is a nice space between the comfort and all of the ambient lighting and the great roof. I like it back here. Being a practical guy, I like this. EQS isn't just a luxury vehicle, it's a useful hatchback.
There's a security shade that's fairly easy to remove, but it doesn't have a dedicated storage space. It won't fit securely in here. There's no spare tire, and that travel charge cord is an option. There are some bits to help organize the space and hang bags. The luxury of remote seat releases is not a thing, though. A trip to the rear doors must be done. I suppose it means you'll get more steps in. Seats drop, there's 63 cubic feet to fill. Great that these are split 40-20-40, so skis and snowboards travel securely, keeping wind noise down and range up. Oddly enough, the folks at warehouse number 1 were out of TP, so I moved on to different paper products. The towels are roughly the same spatially, just a slightly different shape. This is 22 cubic feet, or 6 packs of this stuff. But I use TP because it's inherently funny. Paper towels, not so much. Anyways, let's get to red light, green light. Green light. If there are cars in heaven, they ride like this. What a sanctuary. The lovely cabin, dominated by the Hyperscreen and ambient lighting, looks like the future. The range and power of the EQ platform is impressive. It bodes well for Mercedes. And have to be impressed with the sheet metal's wind-cheating coefficient of drag. Yellow lights, the super slippery silhouette comes off as plain to some eyes. The rich-looking cabin has some hard plastic pieces that get touched often, and also tactile, the haptic control panel has a rubbery, less-than-premium feel. Red lights, and I'm being sort of picky here because this car is so good. EQS doesn't have a supercharger-class charging network, at least for now. The 200 kilowatt charge speed doesn't have the bragging rights of Porsche Taycan or even Hyundai Ioniq 5 or Kia EV6. The Hyperscreen is awesome, but test drive on a sunny day just to see if the slight reflection bugs you. The competition is scarce. You'll be cross-shopping Lucid Air and Tesla Model S, maybe Porsche Taycan and Audi e-tron GT, but those have much cozier cabins. Feature for feature, the EQS closely paces the Musk machine, then throws in perfect build quality, true cabin luxury, and Mercedes refinement. The Air is appealing with epic range, but the newcomer has limited production and an unknown track record.
True, this car's 126 grand, but it sort of transcends that price. This is deeply impressive. You've got the goodness of an electric vehicle, the goodness of Mercedes all in one. It's like chocolate and peanut butter, two great things that go great together.
This is the future of S-Class. Electrification gives it the refinement that even the smoothest piston power plant can't match. And strong demand says Mercedes is onto something. If you have the wallet and the patience for the waiting list, EQS 580 is a true star in the luxury EV galaxy. Like many automakers, Mercedes is transitioning to an electrified future. By 2030, the company hopes that half of its vehicles get electric drive systems. That means fully electric vehicles and plug-in hybrids. And for the near future, I think plug-ins have a real place, especially since the infrastructure isn't built out. People that don't understand EVs can get really gun-shy when it comes to that. On the manufacturing side, Mercedes says the EQS is made in a carbon-neutral manner in Germany at Factory 56, and the plant itself uses a lot of green material like recycled concrete for construction. A solar array on the roof supplies some 30% of the power needs. This year, all of the production plants that Mercedes owns will get their electricity exclusively from renewable sources, and it's requiring suppliers to meet specific carbon-neutral targets. So wealthy folks are helping to make the whole process better for the planet. Still, walking to the store or buying a bike does a lot more to reduce your carbon footprint. Just saying.
So I woke up this morning and literally forgot to comb my hair. And so I'm using coffee as hair gel. Does it work? You be the judge. Thanks to Rob Calero for coming out.
No coffee needed.
One last piece of tech I'll show. At traffic lights, this view appears. Great for when the signals are directly overhead and hard to see, or the sun is right behind the lights.
This is the end where I normally give you guys a fun fact, but this time I'm going to touch on something that some people in the comments get wrong, and that's automotive paint. I often see the comment, "Oh, it's got orange peel, what a horrible paint job." Not exactly. These days, automakers, to protect the environment, are using waterborne paint, and nearly every car these days has a little bit of orange peel, unless you're talking about a Rolls-Royce. I have this really great article that I have linked to, so it's in the description. Check it out. It explains why we have that little bit of ripple. That's the future, folks. Anyways, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to this channel, click notifications, follow me on Twitter, I'm pretty active there, or leave a question if you have one in the comments, all right? I'm pretty good about getting back to people. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.